Hi, today it's just a quick and dirty video from me because Nico from Corridor Crew asked for the help of everybody in the community who can do a quick render and want to participate in an open source project. And I don't want to lose any time and get some momentum on that project because I really like what they are trying to do. Now you're asking why I, on my small channel, should echo a project from Corridor Crew who have just 7 million subscribers on YouTube. First thing is they announced it just on their podcast video, and that has, while I'm recording, has only 9,000 views, which is only 30 times as much as my last video has. So there's quite a chance that you are seeing this first, and I want to draw the attention on that project. Second, there is they are requesting for files that we drop into a share, and on that share there is currently not that much content. So I think there could be a bit more interest into that, and maybe I can convince the one or the other person out there to join into that project. And finally, I want to offer a Blender template down in the description of this video. So maybe I can lower the bar for you to enter that. In that template, there's already the settings that are required, considering the size and color space and whatnot. So maybe you can take that and join into the project. So what is it all about? Nico asked in the latest podcast for help of the community to provide green screen videos. Nico wants to train an AI with machine learning tools to be capable of removing green screen and do that really on a high level, he states, a Hollywood level of green screen removal. And I really appreciate if he can achieve something there, because on my latest short film I did a lot of green screen stuff, and I ran into every problem a beginner can make with green screen. We rushed through it, had really bad screens, bad lighting, whatever. And I would love to see a progress in AI tools that can help there. The effort of the industry goes into AI rotoscoping, but if I compare what I can do with the green screen against the magic mask that is currently available in DaVinci Resolve, I still prefer the green screen over that. Also, he wants to provide that as an open source, free-to-use tool, which I don't have to pay a subscription for the next thing, because I'm doing this for a hobby and I just cannot afford lots of subscriptions for that. So what is the task? So machine learning requires us to have data sets with an input value and an expected outcome. So if we have hundreds and thousands of these data sets, input and expected outcome, the AI can learn from that. And if it has seen enough of this training data, it can then guess an output for an input that it has not seen before. So that means that Nico needs a lot of data, videos, input and output, expected outputs for green screen and removed green screen. And he wants that in a really high quality. So it's not a good idea to just put in what I did with some clicks with my Delta keyer, but he wants Hollywood level quality for removed green screen. And here comes his idea that he can do that with not real footage, but with rendered footage, because in a render we can render a green screen and can provide exact same pixels without the green screen if we just do another render layer for that. He gave us a README, a manual, what we should provide, and I will show you that. It's all on the share of the Corridor Crew. Links to their video is here below in the description, and under their video you will find all these resources, a link to the share and to the README. So he defines a specific folder structure that the images should be supplied in, and then it is all about these images. It should provide an input image, which is a complete scene, including a green screen. And he wants us to have different varieties of green screen. So that would be a good idea to adapt that and provide whatever you have. Maybe you have a 3D render of a real green screen, you can provide that. I fiddled around a bit with a photo of a green screen from an old project I had. So input scene with green screen. Then the foreground, which is just the scene without the green screen, but with a black background. But still having all the light and the environment on the reflections, as you can see here. So the white spot from the reflections of the environment should be included there. He is not sure about how the green screen, like the background, should influence that image. And I will show you two options of that. I am not sure which way is the better one. So he had an idea here to gray out the green screen, but remove that, ignore that page, you can see it. So I will show you two different setups where we have a black screen behind the object, so that there is no light coming from behind, or that the camera rays are seeing a black environment, but the environment texture, like an HDRI, is also coming from behind. I think the problem here is that we just don't know which information should be displayed here, because it depends on where we put this object in a scene later on. And that is information that we cannot put into the training data, right? So we just don't know it. But I think that we can do a difference of both the images, and I think you can use the difference to create an alpha mask for these regions that are influenced by reflections, and then can change them later in a project to whatever the background of the objects. So yeah, we have the foreground image, and then we want to generate a background image that is the green screen with the shadows that the objects are causing. And last but not least, an alpha channel. That is the input he requires for the training of the AI. They should be provided in XRRs, 32-bit depth, and so on. All that is dialed into the template I am providing here below in the description, so you can just use that. For a sanity check, he states how these images can be composed together again. I will show you that. So that is my scene here, which I am fiddling around currently. I try to have some transparent objects like a glass here, and also reflection of objects here. So, and what I'm getting here is like the foreground image, and here is the comparison of the two options I meant beforehand. Like, as you can see here on that leg of the table, there is no light coming from behind, because I put a black object behind that in that case. And the other option would be that you can see if I switch between them, it is the same image basically, but in this case the camera is set to black pixels. Every camera ray is just seeing black, but the reflection and also the transmission of this glass object views the environment. It is an HDRI that I placed into that scene. So maybe you can help me and in the comments and discuss. I will provide both templates with the one option or the other, so you can figure out which one is best. And yeah, so the test is that we can take that foreground image, the objects can take the background, which is the green screen, including the shadows, and apply that as an alpha mask and merge these images together. So that is the combined object background and foreground, and that is in comparison the complete scene. You can see that is the complete scene rendered, and here you can see in the glass the green screen through the glass, and in that case we have that one of the options where you can see the environment or the black background. And now we can do a difference of both of them. So if we subtract the original image from the combined image, there is quite something off because just of the influence of the light here. That is how it looks in linear. So that is a comparison of both of the options I have. In the difference, you can see that here in the glass you can see the background, and here you can see the green screen. Then let's have a look into the template I'm providing to you. So that is the setup I have for you. It is just a green screen. I use the texture from Polyheaven here, and also I have an HDRI as the environment in that scene. As you can see, I modified it so that the camera is seeing the black background. I can remove that so that you can see that is the HDRI that I'm using here. You can see there are different render layers, so you have to put everything you want to add into that scene. And you can also change how the green screen looks. So instead of the texture, you can maybe use another green screen, like a 3D scan of a real screen, or a photo of a screen like I did in the other example. If I switch between the different layers, you can see in the background we have the content of the scene just set to indirect so that we can see the shadows of it. And in the foreground layer, you can see that I provided that black background in that mode here. Or if you turn that off, we can see the other option, environment incoming, on the reflections of Suzanne. And when I turn that on, you can see that we have that black background that is covering everything from behind. You may have to change the path of the output here. It is already dialed to the OpenEXR with the settings they ask for. So yeah, last but not least, I'm Philip, and I'm occasionally talking about my hobby, filmmaking. Appreciate if you like that video, and if you write something into the comments so that I can maybe change something in the provided templates here. And yeah, let's make some renders. Bye bye, see you next time.